Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jeff. So it finally happened. 420 just passed. By the way, I hope anybody that celebrated enjoyed themselves. 420, despite being the dankest day possible, was also one of the dankest days for the internet. But before we get into that, GFUEL currently has a BOGO sale going on their website for spring. It's like a buy one, get one free thing. So if you go and get a tub like Raging Gummy Fish, for example, you compare this with another flavor and you end up getting it for free. Also, if you weren't going to utilize a BOGO sale and just, buy whatever from the website, use my code on anything on the website, really, and just use code JEV and get 20% off. You can't combine them together with the BOGO thing, but I also personally like the Naruto Sage mode. I like those kinds of flavors. So if you buy something using my code or using the BOGO sale, I appreciate you. Yesterday, Twitter actually removed all of the legacy verified things. Basically, all of the people that got verified through like the original process of establishing themselves or being a part of something that makes them like notable or whatever in all these different forms of media, all that shit. We've already been through this. Now it has been reduced to basically needing to pay for Twitter Blue in order to acquire the check mark. Before, for a good amount of time, it was kind of a mixture of both of them and you couldn't really tell, which I thought was kind of an okay move. Fine, why not? Even though I disagree with being able to pay for a check mark because it just seems kind of irrelevant. Clearly, the people that are making these decisions are just preying on people that like want and need to like feel more official. I don't know, it just feels yucky to me. So before, everyone knows the verification process used to be a thing where basically you would verify people that were notable enough to the point to where they would likely have the possibility of being like impersonated and stuff like that. That was one of the main reasons the gaming community once was introduced into this space. People in FaZe, like Rain, for example, were some of the first people in gaming to start getting that kind of verification. Okay, this guy's sweating. I just wanted to snipe, but... I'm around the— So now it just became this thing where, ironically, they're saying this whole thing is to, like, weed out bots, but at the end of the day, like, it's just gonna make it so, like, you can't tell who is or isn't a bot. You just follow bot yourself and then buy a verified thing. Oh, man. Dude, being hotshot is crazy. It feels like Specialist. Basically, no one knows who's who anymore, but also, no, the whole thing is just embarrassing and confusing and just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But I'm not that mad about it. I don't really give a shit. I'm not usually the type of person to sit there and make fun of people for, spending the money on the thing. Obviously people can do whatever they want. The amount of people that are tweeting at me, dude, you have money. Why don't you just buy it? Seriously? Go and buy it. You're a professional. Don't you want to look like a professional? I don't think that makes me look professional. Not anymore. It's not the same thing. Go to a costume store and buy a firefighter outfit or some shit like that. It doesn't actually make you a firefighter, though. Wait for that new netcode. I'm telling you right now, all this movement and shit that people are doing, it ain't gonna work. People are also thinking that it's like some massive business move to whether to buy it or not. Genuinely, I don't think it actually does anything. From what I know, it literally doesn't do anything. Now, maybe in the future it will do something, and then basically we make social media pay to win, and I think that's a great idea. I don't understand how people think this is a good change. Like, any of them, at all. I feel like you probably have some strange complex, because to pay for something that offers absolutely no value whilst trying to convince people that it does, you're more operating like a con man than anything. It's odd. The amount of people, it's so weird too, because it's become this thing of like verified people versus unverified people, where before, like, it was a joke, but people understood why some people would be verified and why other people wouldn't be, because it's likely that somebody that's more popular could be verified and then could potentially fish and scam and do all sorts of other shit to other people. Stuff that has happened to me, where people would take my name and then they would go and tell people that this is me, and then they have some form of proof that manages to convince people, and then they either make money or they steal information from them or something. That verification process made it so that would be less likely to happen. It didn't fix it completely, but it definitely would hinder people and would make it very obvious what are the real and not real accounts. Now it's based on who can pay for it more. And at the moment, if you're paying for it and trying to convince people to pay for it, I don't really think it's really out of like good faith. I think like a part of you is trying to convince yourself that it's somehow worth it, but it's just not. Again, do whatever you want with it, but at this point in time, I can absolutely understand paying for it if you think that it does something, but it doesn't. And to be honest with you, even though I don't use a whole lot of things other than YouTube and Twitter in terms of like my content, and really Twitter is just, I used to be a lot more active on Twitter. I used to be. Then I just didn't really want to socialize anymore, and then I just like wanted to just keep doing my own thing. Now, luckily in my case, people are able to see that I am the real one just from my @ and my follower count and stuff like that, where you can look at it and go like, okay, it would make more sense. That was the original way that people did it. Before, a lot of people started getting verified and like only very few people people were verified, and then they started verifying like all the sports gamers and social media people and all sorts of other stuff. The whole way to figure out if somebody is, you know, them, you would either look at like the way that people are interacting with them, what they're consistently posting on their timeline, and like the follower count and stuff like that, because why would people be, you know, following a fake account or some shit like that? And then, you know, there's the possibility of people botting followers or whatever, but that was the usual way of people trying to figure out whether something was, quote, legit or not. Now it's just, it's a free-for-all. Good luck. I feel bad for anyone that's like a small or a medium-sized creator that's trying to like grow on the platform of Twitter, but to be honest with you, as someone that's trying to grow, Twitter is probably not the place that's going to define or kill your entire like goal. That's just my opinion. I think the other platforms serve that purpose much better than Twitter does. I'm still gonna use Twitter the same way that I always have, which is really not that much. So if I'm seeing an increase in people getting scammed, I'm gonna be really fucking annoyed, but my only Twitter is @Jet. That's it. It's just Jet. 3 letters, JEV. That is it. Okay, this guy's sweating his ass off like I'm not trying to snipe against him or some shit like that. Try to snipe, you coward. Like the people that sit there and blow all of their ultimates and healing abilities on one fight, it's so funny to me. And then they'll start shooting bodies like they're good. They're dog shit. It's crazy how similar this is to old Call of Duty, man. If somebody is sniping and you're running them over with a fully auto, take them as a freebie. Don't sit there and act like you're outplaying somebody that has a clearly worse thing than you. That's the first time I've ever seen 2 people get killed with a nade. So according to Twitter, I am no longer me. We're just gonna have to move the lines for what is and isn't a legitimate account. Verification is no longer a legitimate measure of anything other than a waste of $8, basically. People that are like, you don't have $8 to spend? It's like, nah, even if they didn't, they're likely spending it on something that actually has some value. You fucking idiot. And if you get some sort of, you know, made up value out of it in your head, good for you. Update, around noon today, we will be bringing down rank mode and hot shot, but we will be bringing back progression. So you'll be able to level up and level your weapons and go after those skins. We hope you enjoyed the super early look at ranked and hotshot. Hotshot's crazy. I'm playing it right now, so it's gonna go down soon, I assume. But I'm super excited to be able to actually go for the camos, because it's generally just kills or like level ups or whatever, which are basically still kills. But so yeah, this is my Twitter now. The verification thing used to be there, but it's gone now. I highly doubt that there's another bot out there though that has a profile that looks like this, so we should be good. Hopefully, you know, if we know anything about the internet, no, people are plenty stupid enough to get, you know, tricked by this shit, and people are plenty scumbags enough to try to trick people in the first place. Basically, I'm not gonna pay for the shit unless it makes sense to pay for it, and considering I don't use it a lot, I don't think I'm going to. Now, if it actually starts getting some value or something like that, cool, but it literally holds no value. Some people are like talking about how like your tweets and stuff can get buried and stuff like that under like replies and things. If I have to spend money in order for my tweets to end up in front of people the way that it should be, the platform isn't even operating the way that it's supposed to. That businesses and stuff, I get that. Some people are talking about FaZe being able to verify people, organizations being able to verify people, but like even then, even if they were to do it, it just feels weird needing to be verified through an organization in the first place. Why can an individual not have that position? It's just icky to me. It's odd. I don't like it. It's also not even entirely a cost efficiency thing. It actually doesn't do anything. If you got the money to waste or whatever, then like cool, you know, flex, but couldn't you just have bought something that's nicer or like actually had value and then like post it onto Twitter? I feel like even that would hold more intrinsic value than your whatever, man. I'm trying not to hurt people's feelings, but it's kind of lost its purpose. And apparently I've lost my identity now. I'm no longer the real Jet. Those jokes are funny for about a couple hours, and then it just becomes this like annoying thing. I feel like we're gonna, like months from now, people are still gonna be tweeting, wait, is that really you? Like all this did was just add more uncertainty. And the people that are willing to waste money, it makes more sense for me to go out somewhere, buy ingredients, and then make something that I won't even eat or like, and that still holds more value than the Twitter Blue subscription at the moment. Most people would say that that would be a waste of food. How is this not the same thing if people are actually trying to argue it's not a waste? It's literally a waste. Nothing makes sense.